Hello, I'm the Northman. Welcome to your daily dose of cryptocurrency news. I hope that you're doing well. Let's get into today's article. Institutional DeFi on XRPL, scaling real-world finance with XRP at the core. The main points. XRP's utility is growing across payments, liquidity, and credit markets. Near institutional-grade futures, MPT, permission domains, lending protocol, confidential transfers are scaling use cases for tokenized assets, FX, and on-chain credits. Live tools like credentials, token escrow, and batch transactions bring enterprise-grade compliance and automation to on-chain workflows. The foundation for the next generation of blockchain-based financial infrastructure is being built, with XRP at the backbone. From feature set to financial infrastructure. The XRP ledger has evolved into a high-performance blockchain for tokenized finance with compliance tooling, real-time settlement, and asset layer programmability now live on mainnet. In parallel, XRP, the native digital asset powering the network, has seen a surge in both direct and indirect utility. This latest institutional DeFi update lays out how core features are being adopted, how XRP is used to facilitate key institutional workflows, and where the roadmap is headed next. With native on-chain privacy, permission markets, and institutional lending set to go live in the coming months, XRPL is positioning itself not just as a chain for tokenization, but as an end-to-end operation system for real-world finance. Exploring XRP utility across the ecosystem. At the heart of every institutional use case is XRP. Its impact spans both direct and indirect roads. The direct impact is underlining by new features that drive transaction volume and transact asset insurance on XRPL, increasing demand for network resources and therefore XRP. The indirect impact we can also hone in on when it comes to how XRP is used in base layer operations like reserve requirements, transaction fees resulting in burning XRP, and bridging currency in FX and lending flows. So let's explore this across the three institutional finance pillars. 1. Payments and FX. Fast, compliant, and liquid. XRPL's heritage in payment continues to mature with new infrastructure upgrades. Permission domains enable regulated environments where access is controlled via credentials, e.g. KYC, AML tools like Know Your Customer. Permission DEX builds on this by gating secondary markets for FX and stablecoins. Stablecoins on XRPL, RLUSD, and other assets now settle on XRPL. That is great. XRP impact every transaction, particularly in PDX environments, burns XRP. These flows increase as stablecoins and FX corridors deepen on XRPL. XRP use case. In DeepX environments, XRP acts as the auto bridge asset in FX and remittance transactions, settling trades between stablecoins and other tokens instantly and with fee efficiency. Collateral and liquidity, unlocking balance sheets. Institutions are exploring XRPL for collateral optimization and capital velocity supported by token escrow. Now works for IOUs and MPTs, enabling token-based conditional settlement. Batch transactions allow atomic delivery versus payment (DVP) workflows critical in repo markets and cross-asset swaps. MPT multi-purpose token, the future of tokenization on XRPL, allows complex financial instruments, MMFs, bonds, funds, to include metadata, restrictions, and structure without custom contracts. XRP impact. MPT's escrows and settlements workflows increase network usage and require object reserves and transaction fees, all denominated in XRP. Use case: asset managers deploying tokenized money market funds or high-grade collateral use XRP for issuance, escrow, and delivery versus payment, all involving XRP at the protocol layer. XRP and financing: on-ledger lending with XRP flow. Later this year, XRPL that version will introduce native on-ledger credit markets through the lending protocol. Single asset vaults, SAVs, protocol markets in token-specific vaults with operational permissioning. XLS 66 lending protocol enables fixed-term underwritten loans with repayment automation. Together, these features compromise the XRPL lending protocol to facilitate fixed-term, fixed-rate credit on the XRP ledger. First loss capital and off-chain underwriting adds institutional-grade protection. XRP in lending: XRP can be both borrowed and lent. It's also the default bridge asset in FX flows and settlement. Real-world example: Evernorth is actively preparing to utilize the lending protocol XLS 66 to generate institutional-grade yield on its extensive XRP holdings. Today, we are thrilled to announce Evernorth's intent to utilize the upcoming XRP lending protocol XLS 66 as a core pillar of our digital asset strategy. This isn't just another DeFi experiment, it's what we believe could be a fundamental shift in how institutional liquidity moves on-chain. Sarah Sagan, Sager Sa, Chief Business Officer, Evernorth. I, of course, butchered that name, so that's on me, sorry. Outline in a recent blog. By participating in this native lending ecosystem, Evernorth aims to help unlock what could be a multi-billion-dollar annual yield opportunity for the XRP community. The expanding XRP economy, building with purpose. XRP is more than just a medium of exchange or liquidity bridge. It's embedded in how the ledger operates. Let's simplify this idea with a visual breakdown that you can look at for yourself. Of course, this article will be linked down in the description, so no worries there. With each use case, XRP's role becomes more intertwined with institutional finance, either as the asset being moved, the bridge facilitating exchange, or the reserve currency backing network security. What's live? What's coming? So what's live now is MPT, a flexible token standard that can carry essential metadata such as maturity dates, tranches, or transfer restrictions without relying on complex smart contracts. Credentials streamline privacy and preserving identity layer that allows trusted issuers attest to attributes such as KYC status, accreditation, or regulatory permissions like directed to DIDs, permission domains, controlled access for on-chain compliance, allowing markets to gate participation based on aforementioned credentials, provides realistic previews of how a transaction will behave under mainnet connections without broadcasting or affecting ledger state, reducing risk for enterprises, improves debugging, and ensuring greater reliability for high value or complex transactions. Deep freeze lets token issuers prevent misuse by frozen account holders. It ensures that flagged addresses cannot send or receive tokens until their trust line is unfrozen, allowing issuers to comply with sanctions and other regulatory requirements. Interesting. XRPL EVM sidechain, powered by eXRP and bridged via Axelar. It lets Solidity developers tap into XRPL liquidity and identify features while deploying familiar EVM applications. Coming soon, Permission DIX Quarter 2 Lending Protocol XLS 6566. Confidential transfers for MTTs to be released in Q1, that is this quarter. Smart escrow Q2, which is between April and June. MPT DEX integration Q2. Institutional DeFi portal Q1. Each feature is not a silo, it's a building block for composable financial ecosystems tied together by XRP, which is Ripple's entire strategy. So let's see here. Beyond futures, institutional and developer tools. The XRPL, driven by a community of contributors, ensures new futures reflect institutional feedback, developer needs, and global standards. Key resources you can explore include, you can do that for yourself, of course, always do your own research, including on this paper, Institutional DeFi Portal, LiveNet Explorer, XRPL DevNet Tools. And at last, XRP-powered finance-focused. Institutional DeFi is no longer theoretical, with programmable lending, privacy-preserving collateral, and regulated token markets. XRPL is delivering the infrastructure institutions needs. XRP sits at the center of that infrastructure, not just as a transactional asset, but as a utility-rich protocol token that connects the pieces together. Stablecoin FX, tokenized treasuries, on-chain loans, and smart escrows, they all increasingly depend on XRP's functionality. And with privacy, lending, and token composability converging, the XRP ledger is on track to become the foundation for the next decade of institutional finance. The future of institutional DeFi is regulated, scalable, and powered by XRP. And that was the article. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you in the comment sections. And of course, I will also see you in the next one.